Good morning. Hand today is pocket sixes. So in this hand, we have a min raise, and I think the min raises are mostly pretty weak. It's they know they should raise it, but they're afraid to raise it. So on a player like this, maybe something could be something like that. Could be afraid to limp with just something stronger like that. Could be even tighter, maybe something like that. 5.8%. I have 2,000 hands on this player, and it's raised first in from early positions 19%. It bought in shorts, calls 2-bet and 3-bet pre-flop with 7-5 off, calls c-bet with gut shot. So I think if he just limped, he probably has a much wider range. We could add maybe all of these suited aces, but I don't think so. I think, for a min raise here, I think this is probably a pretty tight range. And then it's on us. And I think we do have to look at his range. So technically we are 3-betting. But I think what we're going to be doing is raising here. I do think he's going to call, so I'm going to get rid of some of my weaker hands here and play this as more of a raise with stronger ranges. So I think that's going to be my raising range. And I just called. So I'm going to say probably called something like this, even though I should have been raising it. I think that's a mistake. And then villain squeezes. We got 448 hands on him. His squeeze percent. Big blind 1 out of 11. Here's one more. I don't think that really means a whole lot. I think he is raising here probably with a decent hand. He could have just called and seen a flop. So the fact that he raised, I think, is meaning he's got something pretty strong like this. Maybe just queens plus. Not even sure if I have ace queens in there or not. And then he calls. So I think he's going to call. We know he calls with 7-5 off. And then it's on me. And, when we look at it, I need 25% equity to call. So it's calling another 6.5 big blinds to win 18 big blinds. So I'm getting 3-1 on the call. I do think I'm right at about 25% equity, so I could fold. I could call with my sixes. I think I would probably, since I'm in position, I would probably call all of these. Obviously, I could probably dump some of these speculative hands, but at this point, we're hoping to hit and get paid. So I did call. I'm going to say this is my calling range. So 7.99%. I have a total of 106 combos. And we see a board of 10, 10, 5 with 2 spades. All right. So that misses. And what's interesting is that villain 5 checks. He could have bet. And I think he would have bet his. I would think he bets his overpairs and then probably checks everything else. So he'll be checking all of these cards. He's got ace high, basically. I think he's checking that, definitely. I would assume he would have bet pocket pairs, unless he's being tricky with, like aces or kings. Next guy checks, and I think he's probably just going to check most things. Um, Obviously, he could have flopped quads. Definitely checking there. Three of a kind. Um, I kind of think he might be checking. Um, I'm gonna change these to 50% and say 50% of the times he would have checked, 50% he would have raised. Same thing with the overpair. I just kind of think I feel like an overpair would be betting here. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's take overpair out. I think those would be betting there, whereas three of a kind sometimes bet, sometimes check, and it's all because of the spade draws that are out there. I think that's the reason why I would say he would be betting some of the time with three of a kind, and he would be betting with the overpair. Pocket pair below the top card, I think he checks. I think he checks all of those, all of his draws, and so forth. So I think we're looking at something like that to him, and now it's on us, and you can see, you can kind of imagine that he's going to be pretty weak. He could have a strong hand, and now it's on us. What do we do? I think we probably check our quads. I think what I do, I don't know what I do. I think we're gonna check our quads. So let's do grouping. I think we're gonna check our quads. I think we're gonna check our full house. Three of a kind, I think we can bet, and I think we should bet here. And the overpair, I think we should bet. Pocket pair below top card. I don't really see a reason for betting for value or betting as a bluff because we missed. I mean, we called kind of hoping to hit. We don't want to like make bigger mistake by making incorrect calls. So then I also think we probably are going to bet a flush draw as a bluff. So it's kind of like the flush draw and then three of kind of overpair. And I think flush draw with overpair. Two card backdoor flush draw, so we could probably bet just as a straight up bluff. So like right now I have 80.9%, but you can see that we're kind of mixed between checking and betting, and the betting's actually only about 20%, and I think that's okay here. This board's not going to hit a whole lot of people, at least not with the 10s. It's going to be less likely to hit with the 10s, and the hands that I kind of see being heavy in people's ranges are going to be the pocket pairs, and honestly I don't know if I could get higher pocket pairs to fold, at least for one bet. I'm gonna need a turn card to help me increase fold percentages. So I did check, and that means let's get these hands out of here. Okay, so I checked 63.8% of the time. That's 60 combos. And I've set up all of the checking ranges here. So now we get a 4 of hearts. So 4 of hearts actually improves me. And now we have villain 5 checks. And with him checking, I think it's 100% of his range, and he's weak. Villain 6 bets. He bets 13, and I think now is the time where we're going to have to be concerned that he probably has pocket pair plus. He does c-bet pretty good, so he could be a thinking player. However, when he c-bets, let's say 60% of the time on the flop, and then on the turn, it's 33% when he's in position, 75% when he's out of position. That kind of suggests that he becomes turn honest. So I kind of feel like he's not trying to steal it. Like, I think pocket pair plus, I'm not even sure if you can call a flush draw here. So I think that is his range. And then it's on us. And if that's the kind of range, then I honestly think we're just going to be folding. Um, I think the chance that he has, eights or nines is offset by the chances he has something better. So you can see like he could have three of a kind. The eights and nines represent 75% of his range. So really, when it comes to us, pocket pair below the top card, nines we could probably call. Nines we could call. I think eights we fold. Sevens we fold. We need 25% equity to call. So do we have our flushes? I don't think so. I don't think we're getting the correct equity here, especially with one more player behind. So if we call and then all of a sudden he wakes up with a big hand and raises, I think we're just going to have to fold. So even our flush draws, it's not great. Our backdoor flushes, we should have bet. So I'm going to see how come. Oh, hold on. I got to X those out. 2-card backdoor flush draws. And were we going to be betting our flush draws? I think I did say flush draws as well. That's better. X those out. Make sure they get out. So you can see that I don't, even my flush draws, I shouldn't really have any flush draws. I don't think we should call with overcards. So I think without one of these, we should just be folding. I didn't fold, and my guess is that I was calling, planning to make a play if a spade or a heart comes. So I think my thought was I'm going to call. If he folds, then a spade or a heart could allow me to win this pot with a bet. At least I would guess that's my reasoning. And that kind of blew out of the water when he called. So now I think he's calling, probably with his flush draws. Again, we kind of assumed that he would have bet with his overcards. I'm sorry, with his overpairs. So now, right now, I called. This would be my range, and I know that's not. We had sixes, but I think that's what my turn range should have been. And that's 17.9%, 10 total hands. And then the 9 of spades, and that's actually turns out to be, I think, one of the good cards. If I actually had it, I think I could make a bluff at it. So villain 5 check, villain 6 checks. I think this is too risky versus two opponents. Because I think he calls with flush draw. It's going to be 50-50 chance. Does he have the heart or does he have the spade? Villain 6, I think he just has a pair. It's looking now more like a eights, pocket eights, weak pair. I think we should just check behind here. I did. Villain showed the flush. And I didn't have ace 4 in his range. So if he raised with that, then it's possible that he's raising like a wider range, maybe something like that as well. Jack Queen, I think that was surprising because I didn't have a Jack Queen at all in his min betting range. But maybe he has something like that. Maybe it's the offsuit hands. Definitely, I think he folds. This guy does not. I don't think he folds at all in the hand. So I think I should have. I mean, my rationale was okay. I think if this guy didn't call, then we could bet on that 9 and expect to pick it up. But this hand didn't play it out as quickly. I think the flop call is kind of questionable. I think we were right on the edge. Maybe it was EV of like 0. We could call or we could fold. I'm okay. I don't really like my turn call unless I've really had that plan to take the pot away on a heart or a spade, assuming this guy folded. All right, so this is hand for 1st of November. Look tomorrow for another hand.